The gym genuinely saved my life, and any success that I've achieved over the past 2 years has been due to getting in shape and my relationship with God. Now, over 2 years ago, I was a complete degenerate. I was chasing validation from all the wrong kinds of people. I had such a grip on my vices. I was just going down such a dark, degenerate path, and I thought there was no way out. And there was one anchor that actually allowed me to escape that life, and it's the same for any single man watching this. Doesn't matter how low you've gone, it doesn't matter how high your aspirations are, when you prioritize your physical health, that's going to trickle on into every single metric. And you're going to realize you're so much more capable than you ever could have imagined. And in this video, I'm going to take you through the exact process that I used to turn my life around physically, mentally, spiritually, and eventually financially. And the same principles apply whether you're just starting out in business, whether you've been working in business for a while, whether you're just super driven in the corporate world. Everything that I've done has been due to this core foundational pillar, which has been the gym. Last week, I was still living in my parents' house whilst I was building up, gaining momentum, and now it's the same process. Everything that I go through in this video has allowed me to move to this apartment overlooking sunny Manchester and start paving the path for my future. So stay tuned for the video. I'm going to take you through a quick Mario board and hopefully you enjoy. Right, what's up, boys? So I actually filmed this video the other day, but it was a really hot day and I had the fan on, so the audio got messed up, so I'm filming it again, but this time should be better as well. So, how the gym saved my life and made me an entrepreneur, because the good foundation of anybody is strong physical presence, and the more the self-respect that you have for yourself, the more that's going to trickle on into every single area of your life. But I never had this. I was always like this skinny, fat, out of shape kid in school. Just looking at everyone around me, I grew up in a very white area, and obviously I'm not white. And I had a massive inferiority complex because I just believed that it was never possible for me to get in shape. Whenever I'd ask any of my white mates how they were in shape, they'd be like, oh, I don't know, just genetics. Like, everyone just tries to play things down to sound cool. So I would just think like, I'm never going to be in shape. What's going on? So I'd unconsciously self-sabotage. I'd just overeat. I would just eat whatever, wouldn't train hard in the gym. If I did go to the gym, I'd eat a chocolate bar after. And I just didn't have any consistency with anything in my life because that's how I was living. It was just inconsistent in the gym, inconsistent with food, inconsistent with school. And I just never really amounted to anything, but it was so frustrating because I had such big ambitions in my mind that I was programmed with since I was young. But my inferiority complex just really held me back from that, held me back from putting it into practice. So I managed to get in okay shape after actually deciding to lock in with my diet. So that was here, and I remember I felt like the man at this point. But then, because of my inconsistency, this only lasted like 2 or 3 months, and then I'd already thought like, oh well, I'm in good shape now, and I'd already got the validation that I sought after. So then I just started becoming a lot looser with my diet, with my training again, and started to go back into that loop of, whoa, this guy's in better shape, I can never get in that kind of shape. And then that led to me just kind of bulking, getting super fat like I did here, like just convincing myself that I was bulking, but really it was just a proper waste of time, and I still felt unconfident, and I had to mask all of my low confidence and all of my bad consistency with the one thing that I could be consistent in, which was self-sabotage, which was partying, which was trying to embrace this identity as being the cool party guy to try and compensate for all of the other areas I was lacking in. So I went to the absolute extreme with this because I had so much energy built up and so much passion that I could have put into the right things, but I just put 100% of my energy into self-destruction. So I was going on benders all the time. I was trying to buy designer clothes with whatever haram money I was making, just trying to fleece this emptiness within myself. And then look, I just look like a disgusting, unhealthy person. I look like a goblin. And that's how it was. I'd come home at like 8:16 in the morning, and then I was just wondering like, what is going on with my life? Like, in the moment, I'd never wonder what's going on because I'd be so fueled up on the drugs and the alcohol and my popularity that I had at uni. But when I'd go home, I'd be laying at my ceiling, I'd be looking at the ceiling, like laying in my bed thinking, what am I doing? Like, is this the purpose of life? I'd be proper secluded sometimes for days at a time, just going down these like dark days. And I had a lot of near-death experiences where my heart was literally pumping out of my chest, near arrests when I was running into the police and stuff. And my family relationship suffered just because I always prioritized the hedonism and the partying over my family relationships. And they cared about me more than I did at that time. They wanted me to succeed more than I wanted to succeed myself. So they try and impose sanctions on me. Oh, you can't do this. Don't go see this person. And I used to see them as my enemies, which was the worst thing I could have done. My friend relationships, because I was so like drugged up all of the time, I was so volatile emotionally that I'd flip out on people, just ruin good friendships, and everything was suffering because I'd chosen the path of hedonism over the path of progress. So, like, even in uni with my schoolwork, I'd get it done, but only because I'd get other people to do my assignments for me. So I had no consistency other than in hedonism. So I had to build some sort of consistency for my life to actually change. The thing that brought this about was my... I wanted to get better girls. I was getting... it's messed up because I don't do anything like this now, astaghfirullah, but I wanted to get a higher echelon of girls, and I was getting rejected by them, and I was like, what's going on? So then I was proper in this flow of like, I need to become consistent in the gym. I need to lock in my diet. I need to actually see what I'm capable of. And luckily, I had one friend who was also on a similar mission. He'd never really been in crazy shape before either, but we both knew that we could, just with the right consistency, with the right habits. So we made this our mission. We were like, right, screw it, bro. If these guys can get in shape, we're going to get in shape too. And having that one friend to keep me accountable actually allowed me to see mad results. So this was after another little bulk period. But I still gained some decent muscle mass in this bulk. So this was the start of something good. That's my friend. And then my diet started to look like this. I used to just eat like fast food and be like, oh, it's high protein, so it's fine. And that's how I ended up getting fat. But I started cooking my own meals, chicken, steak, a lot of tuna, that kind of stuff. And that's what got me. The diet is literally 90% of all things, because once you fuel your system properly, that's when you start seeing the results in the gym. And then I felt so much more confident. I went from this fat, bulky guy to this less bulky guy to then getting actually shredded. And I'd never had abs before, so I felt like an absolute G. And this led to more consistency in everywhere in my life because I had more confidence, I had more energy, I had more conviction. I knew that if I just stick at something for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, it's going to become a part of my identity. And it's actually allowed me to start getting out of that path of hedonism. Initially, we started going to raves and stuff to try pick up girls and stuff, because that's where our intentions were. But the more that I did this, the more that I started developing myself. It came towards the end of uni time and I was realizing I might have to get a job now, but I really did not want to get a job. And the fact that I'd put on several kilos of muscle, the fact that I've actually built consistency now, led to me believing, no, I can be an entrepreneur. I don't want to work a job. I never thought I could lift heavy weights before, but the more that I doubled down on the gym, actually fixed my diet, I was benching like 40 kilos in each hand. Like, that's the absolute contrast I was going through. Like, when I was younger, I could only do like 20s, 26s. So now that I'd built routines and habits and consistency, my whole aura changed. My whole aura changed, and I was able to start dreaming bigger. So then it led to the thought, what else can I achieve? Like, if I can get in the gym, if I can get in shape when I never thought it was possible, what else can I achieve? I started building the confidence that money couldn't buy. So I started taking more risks in the realm of making money. So what I did, I started investing in courses. So I looked at this Forex course that HS Tiki Toki was doing with his group, and I started investing whatever money I was making into that. I lost a lot of money, I made some money, lost more than I made, but I was learning skills. Then I joined the Real World, Andrew Tate, and I started doing affiliate clips for him on TikTok and Instagram. That was one of my pages, Cobra Hustlers, that was the logo we made. And I was making no money, But I was making progress, and I was realizing like how all this online business stuff worked, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in a whole new world now. That's how locked in my diet was sometimes, flipping tuna and egg. That was disgusting. But that was the brokey days. And then I've invested £500 into some high ticket sales mentorship to get me into an appointment setting role. So then I was balancing Forex, my newfound passion for the gym, where I was in good shape. I was posting workout tips on TikTok, my affiliating for Tate, and appointment setting, all at the same time, just trying to make ends meet, trying to make something happen. So eventually I had to bend the knee and go to a 9 to 5 job for some income. But I was doing all of this stuff at the same time. And when I was in that office, I was already looking for a way out. I'd already be speaking my goals to everyone. I was like, I'm going to be at 10k a month by December. I'm going to be at 20k a month soon. I'm going to be in Dubai. I'm going to be living this life up. And everything that I said would happen, happened. When I was speaking my goals out loud, when I was in that sales office, I would be eating my meals after sales calls when everyone else would be working. But because I was in shape, because I had that gravitas, they wouldn't tell me off. They'd be like, oh, fair enough, yeah, he's in good shape. And I used to get steroid accusations as well. But everyone treats you like the man when you're in shape, and that just leads into your self-confidence so much to the point where you know you can achieve so much more. This was probably my favourite shape I've been in. It was just nice, lean, aesthetic. And then that shape is what carried me on to my proper entrepreneurial ventures. So when you have consistency and when you have a strong physique, that speaks volumes. These things, like people can look at you and you don't have to say a word. They already know what kind of person you are. So other people who are entrepreneurs and working hard were drawn to me at this point. And I got offered a door-to-door sales role from this guy from uni I knew who posted a picture in Dubai with a Lambo. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? As soon as I found out about that, I met him for a coffee. I quit my 9 to 5 immediately and I started it because it was like a 6 to 7 figure opportunity. And immediately, everyone in that role, they knew that I was coming to attack. I was coming with a purpose. And I worked 7 days and outcompeted everybody. On the doors, I had immediate respect. Obviously, I had to learn the sales tactics and all that kind of stuff. I was very nervous to start with. But I was much better than I would have been a year ago, 2 years ago. And I sold easily on the doors. Due to my physical presence, people could tell I was in shape. Within 4 weeks of being in this company, I became the top seller in the country. And then 8 weeks after that, I built my own sales team of up to 8 people. Then 2 months after that, I started my own sales agency and built my team up to 30 plus people because I was able to be an effective leader, because I was in shape, because I was outworking everybody, because I developed the consistency and discipline in the gym, which trickled on into every single area of my life. Alhamdulillah, I started getting that consistency with my prayers, and the more that I prayed to God, the more I prayed to Allah, the more blessing He put in my life, and the more He took me away from all of that detriment I was putting myself through. So our physical, our mental, and our spiritual all work together. They all allow us to become our absolute highest selves. And normally, just getting that physical prompt and building that kind of exertion trickles on into everything. Everything. Without the gym, I don't think I would have gone under the development that I've gone through now, and it's been the one anchor that's kept me going throughout every stage of my life. Every single good leader is in shape, and if someone's a leader and they're not in shape, it's like, why would I listen to you? It's like, you can tell that they're not consistent with their own selves. They don't respect their own selves, so why should I respect you? Now, hopefully you guys have taken some good value from the video. I just want you to know that whether you're in the gym, whether you're just starting, whatever your goals are, maybe you run a business and you're not in the best shape you could be in, or you're starting business and you know that there's some things you need to work on, everything starts with the consistency and everything starts with the physique and the exertion there. You don't have to be a bodybuilder, but people could just tell when you're putting the work in, and that speaks volumes. Now, in the next video, I'm going to go through how sacrificing my fitness impacted my business in its first year, because sometimes complacency calls, and whilst we had great results in our business in the first year, there was definitely some things that could have been worked on. So that's going to be the next video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. My Instagram will be in the bio if you want to get to know a bit more about what I do on a day-to-day. If you guys are interested in seeing how you can optimize your performance in every single metric to start performing in business, to start performing in sales, to start being a more productive human and seeing the results that I've had come into your life every single day, there's going to be a link in the description to book a one-to-one call with me to see if you can qualify for the one-to-one coaching. And pleasure as always, boys. Keep pushing. Make sure that we finish this year on a massive high note.